Hey everybody, how you doing? Today we're going to be talking about how one of these or many other puzzles could help you on your health and fitness journey. I'm Angelo. I'm here to share my health and fitness journey, hoping to inspire others to get onto their health and fitness journey and to maybe help you along the way as well. Today we're going to do a little Pictionary and talk a little bit about my journey, my weight loss journey, and we'll talk about, of course, these puzzles and how they can help you on your journey. How can a Rubik's Cube or puzzle help you on your health and fitness journey? Well, besides the fact that these actually strengthen your brain, because your brain is like a muscle and it gets strengthened when you use it, there's other many benefits to it. But let's just think about that for a second. A lot of people try to approach puzzles with the thought in mind that they want to solve it and solve it as quickly as possible. I would like you to take a step back and not so much think of a puzzle as something to solve, although we are trying to solve it, but the goal is not to solve it as quickly as possible. The goal is to figure out the actual puzzle itself, meaning, like, for instance, most people don't understand that there's only a certain pattern that you can put a Rubik's Cube in. And I chose a 2x2 because it's a lot easier than a 3x3 or even a bigger one. But you can start smaller and then grow. And essentially, if you solve this, you can solve the corners of a 3x3, which is the common Rubik's Cube. But in order to solve this, you really have to understand it. And to understand it doesn't mean that you just kind of, work it. And then you have to understand, like, this block, this one block, has from this position only two moves. But forwards, backwards, I guess maybe four. This forward, backward, or left and right. No matter where I turn it, the same blocks have the same moves. It's not like I can do anything different. So each block, no matter what, has a certain move to it. And you can change the status by maybe twisting it. But again, no matter what you do with it, it only has those same moves. You can twist it all day long, but if you wanted to move it, like really move it, you can only move it these directions. And yes, of course, you can spin it, but at the same time, you've only got those moves. So knowing that, then you can approach the puzzle a little bit more. And what this does, by going into that depth, not so much trying to solve the puzzle, but trying to understand the puzzle. Because once you understand it, solving it will be easy. But what this does is when you actually get into it, you can physically be in the present. Remember me talking about the present? I talk about how being in the present really helps us in life because we're too focused on the future or the past. Staying in the present by taking something that you have to concentrate on and not so much, like, again, not trying to solve the puzzle like quickly, but just trying to understand it means you have to be in the present. Like, you have to ask questions and think about, what does this do right now? If I move this, what happened to the block here? It moved here. What happened to this block? It moved here. None of these changed, right? So if I ever wanted to move a block one space, just doing that and keep these preserved, that's one move. To understand that is really important because that will get you in the presence in the present tense. And that is super important that we do that. So puzzles are a great way. I gave an example, a way of doing it, which was to use your senses to take something in and kind of hone in and hone in and hone in till you're so close that you get to like minute details. Well, a puzzle kind of gets you there because you have to look at it from a high perspective and then go into it a little bit deeper. And this naturally brings you there. Now, it doesn't have to be just a Rubik's Cube. It could be any puzzle. It could be Sudoku. It could be crossword puzzles because you're in the moment trying to find something now. And that actually strengthens by doing different puzzles, not just Rubik's Cube, but if you can mix it up, you're going to strengthen your brain, which of course we know over long term helps us with a lot of health benefits in the future, especially as we get older. Here's the other thing. If you have a stressful day, right, and you cannot seem to phase it off. Sometimes people can exercise and it goes away. For some people, it doesn't. For some people, even it could be so powerful that it's hard for us to shed whatever the stress was for that day. And we just need to get it away from it so we can step away from it. And just when we can separate from things, then we can regroup ourselves. Puzzles are a great way. If you go walking, you know what I love to do? I love to take this and try to solve it in my head without it physically here in my hand. This allows me to then really test my mental awareness of, do I really understand this puzzle inside and out? You could do it with a Sudoku. Try to map out the entire game and puzzle and figure out some of the answers by walking away from it, not focusing on with your eyes, but your mental eye, right? Like trying to figure out what it looks like and put the pieces there. That's a good way to separate yourself from other things that might be taking you down, because sometimes that little gap, that little break is all we need in order to go back and solve other problems. Which leads me to the next thing, is that solving puzzles helps us solve problems. By doing unique puzzles, things that challenge us, we are then using and remapping our brains to think in different ways, which then when we get into the future in a problem or a situation, we can apply new skills to that problem that we wouldn't have had before. And that could be super important to your career or relationships or something like that, some way to keep bringing it up. So if you haven't got into puzzles yet, I ask that you do it. Now, I get addicted to them, so people sparingly give these to me, but I love them because they help me train my brain. So I will solve one of these, and then I will put it away. And the way I do it, I'll give you some tips on solving problems. A lot of people take a Rubik's Cube, for instance, and they'll sit there and go, okay, I got two oranges and a yellow white. Okay, so here's a white, and then they'll just come over here and then they'll put that there, and they're like, ooh, good, I'm doing good here. And then they'll come over here and maybe twist it like that. And now we've got, this, and then we're like, okay, we can do this. And then we need this one to be sort of over here. So what we want to do is twist this up, put it down, bring it over here, twist that. Oops, I messed up. Yep, messed up there. Put that there, and then boom. Now we got a top one. Now that may be hard for some people. This might be easy. But now we get to this side, which then the rules start changing. And you're starting to just flip it around. Then you lose this one, right? Well, write things down. Write things down. Get it out of your head and write it down. This is an important thing, because when we have problems to solve, we tend to want to solve it right here. But to take it out and put it on a piece of paper and say, okay, great, Angelo, I have this now. What happens? How do I get a blue one right here? A blue-yellow right there. Well, here's the blue-yellow. Oops, that was by accident. Okay, now we're getting tougher because now we have to get 3 more, right? Okay, where's the green-yellow? Green and yellow is over here, but if I move this, now I'm changing the whole puzzle if I start moving it like that, right? Now I got the green-yellow, but now everything else is messed up. So, but writing down things and getting them out of your head and then examining it, then going back at the puzzle, testing it a little bit, see what happens if I do this, what if I do that, what if I twist it once, go like this, then twist it back? What happened to all the pieces? Then you start getting to understand, and then your whole, everything just kind of dissipates if you have stress. And again, if you want to create stress, try to solve it as quickly as possible. But in order to relieve stress, try to understand the problem, not solve it. when you thoroughly understand it, the answer will be right there. And this is the answer to most of our problems out there. We don't understand the problem enough. If it's consistently in our way, if it's consistently bothering us, taking us down, creating stress in our lives, taking down our health and fitness at the same time, that's a problem. So what we need to do is, it's a problem on top of a problem. What we need to do is understand the problem inside and out, 5 steps ahead, 5 steps before. Then tweak it once, see what the effects are, and then keep continuing on. That way you can focus on, and I only give you these tips not so that I can help you solve a Rubik's Cube or another puzzle. I give you this so that you don't stress so much on trying to solve the puzzle, but understand the problem, understand the situation. Then once you understand it, then you'll say, if I do this 3 times, all these are going to stay in the same place and only one of these moves. Only one of this moves. Everything else stays the same. So then you move this because you want to move this piece. You know right away if I do this. Simple, right? Okay, my journey. I hope that helps you. Puzzles can be fun, but they can also be stressful if you do it the wrong way. But there's life lessons in puzzles, not only health benefits. So I just wanted to share that today. Okay, my journey. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I think I'm getting pretty close to the 15 pounds. And we're on week, what are we? Let me see if I can get a calendar here. Calendar. We started back in, January, right? So let me see here. So let me go year. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're on week 5. We're on week 5 now, headed into week 6. And I'm almost done, I would say, if I continue down this path, close to the 15 pounds that I needed to lose. I'm reading a book by Tim Ferriss. I think I mentioned this. And it's called The 4-Hour Body. And I'm going to be using it to recomp. So I've never done this before. And I'm going to follow the lead of that book. And I'm going to be a guinea pig. And for most of you, if you follow what I've done, you should be able to lose the weight that you wanted to lose. I caution you because as I've seen for myself, I may be losing weight, but that does not mean I'm healthy. I'm not even healthier. If anything, I may have hurt myself a little bit because I haven't built the body mass or kept the body mass or muscle mass, but I've definitely lost some of that instead of trying to grow it. So my next phase, when I get to phase 4, what I'm going to try to do is increase my muscle mass and decrease my fat, which then should reposition my body to look better in the long run. So this is the next phase I think that we should all go on, and I encourage you to follow along with me and stick to the plan if you've been following me, and of course talk to your doctors to make sure it's okay. But I would go back to the beginning where I started in January 2nd. I should have live videos out there, and if you don't see them, let me know. I'll put them back up. But you can follow the journey of how we're incrementally changing the way we eat to the point right now I am eating proteins. I can't wait to have my first seafood, which will probably happen this weekend, I believe. Probably should have happened yesterday, but this weekend I will probably have shrimp. I'm looking forward to that, but a healthy shrimp, not covered in butter or anything like that. It's still going to be pretty simple. I'm probably going to put a little oil on it and salt and pepper. That's like my go-to. Those 3, Power Punch, those satisfy my taste buds like no other. I'm pretty happy with that combination. It's my go-to. But I'm pretty excited about my health and fitness journey, where I've got to so far today. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I did this. I'm proud that I'm a little, if I could criticize myself in any aspect, it would be that I lost too much weight too fast And the next time I may start with phase 3. If you're not sure what the 3 phases are, let me know. I'll share that with you because it's pretty important to understand like what I did, how I did it, even why I did it, and where I'm going to go now. I'm pretty tempted to jump into drinking a little wine like once a week, but I've kicked out coffee completely. I have no desire to go back to drinking coffee, and I may get into it at some point just to have a warm drink, but I'm kind of scared to do it because I know once I get that uh, warm beverage in my body, then it's kind of like I know it's going to bring up old, let's say, feelings and attachment, and I haven't worked on a swish pattern to get rid of that. Maybe that will be my thing. I don't know if I want coffee to be my thing. Sometimes I just enjoy having a cup of coffee with people just to socialize. Like it's a social aspect. I know I could do it with water, and I know there's a mental thing there, but I think I kind of like the idea of having coffee. And I think I'll do coffee at social events where there's a social event. I think I'll give myself the permission to do that. But every morning to have coffee, I don't think it's necessary at this point. It's just a waste of money, and I can find maybe a different alternative, and that's what I'll look at. Maybe a different alternative. Now, if Tim Ferriss in his book, A 4-Hour Body, says that I'm going to be drinking coffee with some sort of butter or something in there to increase fat burning, then I will do it. So whatever he says in there, I'm going to do and be a guinea pig. So because I believe in order to first succeed on what somebody says, you have to follow them point by point. Then you can tear it apart and see, okay, I throw this out, maybe I change it and do this for me, but I'll keep this and that. So sort of like that. I'm a little nervous because I can already feel tension between me and something in there. Okay, that's it for today. I'm super excited to be going again on this journey with you. If you think today's topic will help somebody, please share. I ask that you follow and subscribe and like and give me some feedback so I know how I can help you on your health and fitness journey. Maybe there's a topic that you want me to talk about. Whatever it is, I'm here for you, okay? With that, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow.